people that your ideal client is working with, or it is knowing, is hanging out with. So who made some progress last week? All right. A whole lot of people got busy.
So,
Eric.
Go ahead, Eric. How many?
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about expansion. So, expanding. So our database is filled with intentional relationships of people that have the qualities that we love to work with, because like I said, birds of a feather flock together. So they're always going to hang out with people that are a lot like them. Okay. So think about the vibe of the people that you love to hang out with, that you love to work with. Write those people into your database. And then of those people, who are the ones who are also, living in the price range that you choose to work in? So for instance, are you okay working in the $200,000 price range? Or are you okay working in the $750,000 price range? Be intentional, because if birds of a feather flock together, and if they're hanging out with people that are like them, more than likely their friends and their family are either living and buying and selling in that $200,000 price range or that $750,000 price range. So be intentional about who you choose to put in that database. So that's how you can expand on that.
And that's really the events. So an idea that you can have that, honestly, it's so simple, is that, again, if all birds flock together, or all whatever she just said, then what's going to happen if you invite those people that are currently in your database to an event, and then you say, hey, do you have one or two friends that you would like to invite? I have an extra ticket. I have an extra whatever. We'd love for them to join. And so what you'll end up having, and these will end up being your A pluses and maybe some A's, is that you will have what are called connectors. It's my favorite word, because a connector brings other people. And I have core connectors in each area of the business, right? I've got core connectors that is like, you know what, I'm going to bring people to your training. Those are my core connectors for that, right? Because at the end of the day, they know people who want to learn and grow and expand their business, because that's who they are. I've got connectors who are in the investment side. I do a lot of investment. I've got connectors who are like, you know what, I want my buddy to get this deal. I want my buddy to be able to do this. And so what you'll do is you'll find, if you start asking people, you'll find who your connectors are. Once you find who your connectors are, you spend more time and energy, just like you do your A pluses. Those are the people that, when they bring 4 or 5 people to the event, because you're having a pizza party or because you're doing whatever, then you're going to be like, oh, let's go to lunch. Let's go do our nails. Let's go to the spa. That's the person that you start really building that really deep connection with, because they're the ones that's going to help you build your business. Okay,
100%.
So guys, we are going to talk about this later on in the class, but we are actually going to record how many database entries, how many prospective clients, and how many referrals we are getting, because we are going to do giveaways. So don't miss out on your giveaways. So if y'all want to have this by the end of the class, just go ahead and write down how many of your 100% completed database entries you've done this last week, and then your prospective clients you've gotten from it, and then your referrals, and we will record that down. We did record some from Thursday. So let's go ahead and get back on. So here, this is the big thing. We asked people last week if they were willing to do it, if they were willing to build their database, because I heard over and over that people want to build their business, want to do more transactions next year. And I was hearing a lot of numbers like, I do 50+ transactions a year, and they go, how do you do it? And I'm like, let me show you. I don't chase people, they chase me. It sounds crazy, but I'll have people who just call me and I'm like, okay, great, let's do this, right? And so that's the basic business that I have built over the years. And so what I'm sharing with you is who wants to do that 50 transactions per year, because you can, because you're not chasing people. So type in the chat if yes, you are really ready to build the business that you desire to build. Awesome. Love it. So Cynthia is in charge of the chat because I cannot see the chat. So she walks away from the chat. Okay, guys, sorry. Okay, so
looks like everyone is ready. Yes.
That is fantastic. I love it. That's what we need, because when you're ready, the business will come.
Yes.
Okay, so today, Cynthia is going to go through the 4 steps of nurturing your database.
All right, guys. So this is a process that I use. And when you learn how to master this process, you can work this particular system in any market, whether it's up or down. You can utilize this process whether you are new to real estate, whether you are new in town and you guys don't know anyone and you're literally starting from scratch. So this is something that you can do no matter what season in your career in real estate that you're in, and no matter what season our market is in, because this is solely based on relationships. This is not solely based on anything other than human connection. So that's why this is going to work anywhere, anytime, any place. Okay. So number 1, you stay connected on a very personal level. You get a little bit below the surface here. You know, you're building a genuine heart-to-heart connection with a human being. All right. This is not a transactional based type thing. And you're not waiting around, for an opportunity. Okay. And you're not out there working like a hunter, like, out there for the kill. Okay. So this is a personal connection. And then you add value on a personal and professional level. So you're going to be adding value in real time. Okay. And then you're also going to keep up with very important dates and milestones, and you're going to schedule those monthly events. All right, let's go to the next page. All right. So ways to nurture your database. This is what we always do. Okay. We make calls, we send cards, we send videos, and we invite to visits. All right. So let's dig in and dive into each one. All right. So for us, what we do is we make a call at least 1 time a month. And remember when I said that you're adding value in real time? Well, that's what we're doing. And then while we're on that call, we're inviting them to some kind of event. So for us, we like to, at the very beginning of the month, it's usually the first Wednesday of every month, right? We're making calls, but actually it's every Wednesday of every month because we're trying to get through our list of people. So every Wednesday, actually every day, we're just making calls. We're getting through our list. Nick and I have a ultimate humans U100 list. And these are our A people, our A+ people, people that we absolutely love on and nurture that relationship. Okay. So we're giving them a call, like, hey, Nick, what's going on? Hey, nothing much. Great. What's been, and then we go through the family. We talk about the family. We catch up on the details of what their daughter did, what their son was doing at the soccer game, the important tests that the oldest was going through on their SATs to get into college, big job interviews that they were going through. Someone just had a baby. We're going through all of the big milestones in their lives. And then we're following up with value. So we're asking them, hey, so you guys have a lot going on. And for instance, it's Thanksgiving week, right? So there's a lot of family coming in town. A lot of people are scrambling to get their house in order. A lot of people are going to be hosting gatherings. They've got a lot of shopping to do. Some people want to put lights and decoration up on their houses, things like that. So something of value that I like to add in real time is, Nick, I know you've got a lot going on. And I know you just mentioned that you've got some family coming in town and you guys are hosting Thanksgiving this year. I mean, I can't even imagine with you just having a new baby, how it's crazy that around the house. So is there anything on your to-do list that if I could help you knock that out, would help you feel so much more accomplished, would help you take the pressure off of all of the 5,000 things that you've got to get done? What can I do to help take something off of your list? And then be quiet and you allow her time to answer. Oh my gosh, if I just could get this grocery list done, or if I could get the house cleaned up, or if I could declutter the guest room, or if I could get these Christmas lights up, whatever she has to say. Oh, that's important to you. Okay, hang on 1 second. While I'm on the phone with her, I'm literally clicking over. I'm adding the call of a person that could satisfy that request. So I'm either calling Rita, my housekeeper, and I'm saying, hey, Rita, I've got my good friend Nicole on the other line. She's looking for someone to come help her get her home in order because she's got lots of family, lots of guests coming in from out of town. She's hosting this weekend. Could you please schedule a time to get on her calendar to get over to her house and help her get organized, right? So I'm connecting them to, so I'm merging the call, I'm connecting them to, and she's literally scheduling the appointment right there while we were on the call. And boom, there's an item on her to-do list that is now crossed off and being taken care of in real time. And then I'm asking Nicole again, hey, so what else have you got? Okay, we've got organization around the house done. Check off. Okay, they're coming in on Tuesday. What else have you got? Well, my husband, I've been trying to get him to get up there and put those darn Christmas lights up on the house, and I just don't even know how he's going to do it with work and everything else and the new baby and all this stuff. No problem. Let me go ahead and give my friend Eddie a call. Okay. Eddie puts up Christmas lights. He's done it on my street and in my neighborhood every single year. Let me give him a call and see if I can get him over there. Hang on. So I'm clicking over and I'm calling Eddie. I'm merging the calls and I'm saying, hey, Eddie, I've got my really good friend Nicole on the line. She and her husband are hosting a fabulous gathering this week, and they are just so behind. Her husband really needs some help putting those Christmas lights on the front of the house. Could you get over there? Could you coordinate with Nicole and find a time this week to get over there and put up those Christmas lights before her family shows up? Boom. They're having the conversation. They're coordinating the time. He's getting all the details. They've scheduled the day and the time that he's going to be over there to put up those Christmas lights. Okay. So it's like when you call and you're adding value and you're being helpful and resourceful and you're literally making life easier for people by crossing things off of their list and helping them get things accomplished that they really need to get accomplished, then you're presenting relief. They're grateful. You're creating a moment of gratitude. Okay. And then by the time you get through everything, you're small talking. They're like, oh my God, thank you so much. You just saved my life. Then feel free after that to invite them to something. All right. So, on the last Friday of the month, I'm going to have our monthly get together. It's going to be our little holiday kickoff between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Would love to have you. Bring the family, bring the new baby. I want to get my little baby snuggles in. and stay as long as you want, stay as short as you want. It really doesn't matter, just as long as we're together. You know, I've got to get my hug. I'd love to see you there, 7 o'clock my place. See you then. So that's the way a phone call goes. You can do this with other agents that you're networking with. You can do this with other business owners that you just want to add value to them. Because, if they're business owners, they're constantly in contact with a lot of people throughout the day. And Nicole says that she loves connectors. So this is a great way to add value to your connectors. All right.
And also, I wanted to add something real quick is that she didn't talk about inviting and calling and doing all that once a month for your A pluses, your A's, your B's, and your C's. More your A pluses and your A's. This is a time where you want to call and connect with them. Those are the people that you want to spend the most amount of time with. Remember, we had very small numbers when it came to A pluses and A's. So then your B's and C's are more like your quarterly calls, more like your quarterly things, right? Because those are the people who, yes, they're building your business. Yes, they should know you're a realtor, but at the same time, they're not your A pluses and your A's. Remember, you want to spend the time and the energy and the effort where you're going to get the biggest return. This is a business. You're running a business. So you got to have that investment in the people who are giving you the best return, which is going to be your A pluses and your A's. Now, people can change categories. Your B can become an A, or your A can become an A plus. But at the end of the day, that's for you to decide when to recategorize them. Okay. So we're going to skip the next slide because she already did her role play. So on to the next part, cards.
Yes. So whenever you get off of the phone call, it's always best to follow up with a handwritten note card. And, just talk about, the details, a detail of the conversation that you had. Now, there is a monthly touch that we like to do. And when it's mass like this, when we've got at least 100, or so people that from our A's and A pluses that we're keeping up with, and we're just staying top of mind, what we like to do is on the second Wednesday of every month, we do our monthly touch card. And if you're wondering, how in the world am I going to handwrite 100 note cards? I used to do this, and I used to feel like I had carpal tunnel by the end of the day. I would be massaging my hand and it would be hurting. I would feel like I just left a closing, right? So what I do have, and I will show you, is a program that I use called Banner Season. And it is a way to mass produce cards. You can do it in a handwriting font, and you can add pictures and designs to the card and make it very personal. I always include some kind of detail about my life, and I always thank them for being my friend. So at the end of this, I will post on the Facebook group an example of what I do. And it's something that is personal. It keeps them involved in one little detail of my life, just so that I continue to create that human connection, that human bond, and share with them what's going on with me. And then I always thank them for being my friend. And then I always end it with some kind of, question about what's going on in their life. I make it very engaging. And I like to put a little picture of my son on there. And it's usually something funny, or it's something really cute, or it has something to do with the holiday season, or what's going on that month, or the vacation that we just took. And it's just a really cute image that just gets them, connected. And on the very back of the card, there is a way for you to be able to personalize that as well. And I always ask them to, shoot me a text or give me a call so that I know that they've received this. And in the example, I will show you what I mean. I'll walk you through the system that I use. And then I'll show you the picture, the message, and then on the very back of the card, it's a way of keeping in touch and engaging still. And, at the end of the month, or at the, when everything goes out, my 100 and something cards go out. I do love it when, clients in my sphere of influence receive that card and they're like, hey, why do I love this so much? A lot of my female clients, especially, they'll send me pictures of it, like, oh my God, so cute, so adorable. Thank you for sending this to me. And it's just a way to constantly keep that engagement going.
Also,
So, Nicole,
I think that, yes. So with the cards is that we talked about last time, doing a handwritten card. So an actual handwritten card, right? So that one's the most personal because, or not the most personal, but it's most important to do a handwritten card that time, because it's the first time you're calling them. It's the time you're reconnecting with them. And that's the time where it's most important. Then after that, you can do handwritten cards as well. Right. So, for instance, I'm doing one next week. One of my clients, they're taking their 8-year-old daughter to London. They do this with every single one of their children. They go for 1 week and they spend with only that child, mom and dad and that child. And so Gabriella is going with her parents to London for a week, and then they're going to come back. And so I'm going to actually send a card to Gabriella. I'm not going to send a card to Marta and Julio, right? I'm going to say, hey, Gabriella, I'm super excited that you went to, London. That's so cool. What was your favorite part? Whatever it may be. When Marta receives that, she's going to be like, oh my gosh, because that's a moment that her daughter will never forget, is going to London and making it even more special like that. So that one's going to be a handwritten card versus a handwritten fonted card. So some are going to be handwritten and some you can really send as a handwritten font, like this with banner season. And it's easy to do your Bs because your Bs are a bigger group, right? So your Bs definitely, and your As, you can go ahead and send these as well. Your A pluses, they'll get them as well, but the handwritten cards are where they come in as well.
absolutely. That is a huge personal touch. I really love that. And I love involving the kids and acknowledging the whole family. That was big. Love that. So in our video on the third Wednesday of every month, what Nicole and I do is we send out a video. Now it's, a video usually with, on the phone, and, get the one where, you've got, it's a nice app where it makes you look fabulous. So you can get on there and not be all self-conscious about the way your appearance is, right? And what we like to do is just get on there and say exactly what we said in the card. So, hey, Nicole, I wonder, how was your Thanksgiving? We had tons of turkey on the table. We had lots of friends and family over. I absolutely loved vegging out and just rolling around on the floor with, all my nieces and nephews. It was wonderful. I loved it. And I hope that you guys had a wonderful holiday season or a wonderful Thanksgiving. Also, let me know what you guys might need around the house. I know last time we helped to get some things crossed off your list. And if there's anything else as we're approaching and moving into Christmas, please let me know how I can make your life easier, how I can be here for you, and send that off. Okay. Now we do have in your database, you should have some kind of mass texting ability, mass email ability, and also a video capability. So some sort of media where you can send a video either to a text or to an email. So we use CRM Grow, and I
KV
believe
Core and Reach.
KV, yes, I believe
We use
KV
all three of
Core.
those to do video. Depends on what audience we're sending to, is to what CRM we use. We're weird like that. We put them in different CRMs. But
Right.
so we use CRM Grow, KV Core, and Reach. Reach is the app on your phone that is also in this presentation. It costs like, I don't know, $6 a month or whatever. I can have as many groups as I want. I can have as many people in my groups as I want. And I even have a group called Connectors, of course, right? So then I can specifically just send a text or a video text to those people.
Absolutely. So I know that KV Core uses the bomb system. So that is a really good way of uploading video and sending it out and making each email or each email look very personalized, and it's only them that's receiving it.
Exactly.
So what I like to do is make it to where it's very personal. I don't say, hey guys, I hope you all are doing well. I don't make it seem like I'm sending out anything mass and that someone else is getting the same thing that the other person is getting. That video is very personal. I'm like, hey lady, hey, hey friend, how is the family, right? It's something that is personal that, everyone can receive. So just make every person, you want to make them feel like they're the only client that you have in the world, right? So that's just a little note of word of whatever, little nugget. There we go. Nugget. All right. So this is how I like to make our visit time very unique, okay, and very useful, very worth our time. So it's important to get, belly to belly with people. It just is. There's nothing that builds, a relationship deeper than really getting to spend time with people. Excuse me. So the last Friday of every month, we like to get people together for at least 2 hours. It's usually between the hours of like 5 and 7, 5 and 7:30, or 6 to 8. Okay. And literally, I keep this at a 2-hour maximum, because if not, it could just go on all night and then you'll be completely worn out. But I just do something really simple. Like I just order pizza in. I mean, come on, everyone loves pizza. Kids love pizza. People of every, tax bracket like pizza. Even millionaires eat pizza. So that's super easy. Or you could always do like a quick little taco bar or nacho bar, and that's always easy to do too. But I always let people know, hey, would love to have you over at the house or wherever you're having your gathering. Come in, we're going to have pizza or whatever food is on the menu. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to be fancy, because the most important thing is that you're just together. You're belly to belly. You're shaking hands. You're giving hugs. You're kissing babies. That's what's important. And I always let them know, hey, stay as long as you want or stay as short as you want. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is that we're together, and I've got to get my hug. That's my thing. Okay. So people come in, people come out. And what's important to do is I like to do a little raffle. Okay. So I like to make my time beneficial, right? So we do a little raffle. I always get a Lego set. Kids love Legos, like especially the boys. They just go bananas over Legos. And I always like to get a little spa gift card, okay, for like a massage or a facial or whatever. Because even the men like to get that, because they can gift that to their wife or their girlfriend, or the wife or the girlfriend that's there wants it for themselves, right? So do a little raffle and give, in order for someone to create an entry into the raffle to win the prizes, they have to put the name and the number of someone that they know would benefit from the level of service that you provide them. And so that's one way of getting more referrals, tapping in deeper to the sphere of influence of those people, because those are the folks that they hang out with, that they know. And it's just a really unique way of giving and receiving. So that's just something that we like to do, and it's fun. It's a fun way of receiving a lot more referrals and tapping into the sphere of influence and creating more relationships.
So another one I love to do is charcuterie boards. And I am not talking about the expensive ones. I am talking about HEB, for all of us who love HEB. So I literally go, I also do the same thing at one of my big Airbnbs. So I have everyone come over. I do a little spread of charcuterie. Talking, you know, like a little rotisserie chicken spread, a little spinach dip, little chips, and then of course
salami.
Yes, and then your actual charcuterie normal, right? And what I'll do is I'll put it up on the counter. You know, that stuff is super inexpensive if you buy it where you can spread it out like that. And also have like some of the extras that are like the chips with the dips and stuff. That stuff is so inexpensive. I buy, okay, since most of mine are adults, so I buy alcohol. So I'll buy like, you know, 1 or 2 cases of like a beer or a spritzer, and that's it. Everyone else can bring their own thing, right? And so I'll bring water, a few sodas and that. And at the end of the day, it costs me almost nothing to do this. I mean, I would do it every week basically because it's so inexpensive and everyone loves it. Because again, some people are going to eat and some people are not going to eat, right? It's just going to depend. So depending on what you have, but at the end of the day, it's really not expensive. And if you don't have a home that you can do it in, there's also options of like last week, we went to a Friendsgiving at a title company. So a title company invited me. And of course, here I come with all my people. Here we go, 5 or 6 people coming with me because it's an opportunity for us to get together. We all sat down at the tables in the lobby of the title company. They had all these long tables out. We brought food. I was like, oh guys, don't even worry about bringing anything. Like I'll bring everything for us because everything was like a potluck, right? So I brought tamales and that was it. Brought tamales and I had 7, 8 people that I had not seen in a while come with me. So at the end of the day, it's options that you don't have to spend a lot or have a house necessarily to do it. And there's a lot of opportunity for going places that are already providing food or already providing a location.
100%.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit about where to spend your time and energy. So again, you've got your A pluses, your A's, your B's, and your C's. And we went through this last week. So this kind of breaks it down to what you're going to do with those people and where to spend most of your time. Obviously, your top 15 are your big ones. Those are not just events. Those are even visits. Let's go have wine tonight. Let's go do this. Those are people who you really spend a lot of time with. I had an investor come in town from 4 hours away. So I said, hey, my Airbnb over there is not rented tonight. You're welcome to stay. Make yourself at home. I left a little bottle of wine, music on, whatever. They stayed the night. And then I invited them to breakfast in the morning. So we had breakfast in the morning. We went to go look at a few investment properties. And then they left out of town again. So that's kind of the things that I would do for my A pluses. I would not do that for my B's, right? So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're investing that time in your A pluses and your A's, and then your B's and your C's are people who maybe will eventually become an A or become a B. Okay, so you'll have this as well. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is a lot of people have call reluctancy. So who in the chat has ever had a moment where they didn't want to make a call? I know I did. Like, I don't want to call that person, right?
Eric, 1,000%. Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, it's not about the fact that you don't want to make that call. That's the part that you're feeling, right? It's the same thing like an animal, right? An animal, like for instance, I'm just going to use this, but like a snake, okay? A snake is more afraid of you than you are of them. But if you allow yourself to be the scared one, well, then they're going to protect themselves, right? So what point is that you don't need to be scared if you just know that they want you, and they do. Like Cynthia has all this all the time. I mean, Cynthia, she's so good at it. She just calls and she has this like warm, loving voice where she just hugs them through the phone, right? And so at the end of the day, she knows that they want her to call. Why? Because they answer the call, hey girl, what's going on, right? Like the call I made last week. I had not spoke to David in years. Hey Nicole, what's going on? Not much, just working. Great, I was thinking about you, right? So, and at the end of the call, he was like, yeah, that would be great. I'd love to get together. Let me know the next time you're in town. So at the end of the day, you've got to just really take that call reluctancy and turn it into power, right? That if you are sitting there where you're, hey, I don't want to make this call, that's probably the call that's going to move the needle the most in your business. So don't be afraid, because these people really do want to talk to you and hear from you and be a part of your life, and vice versa. Especially if you're seeking an influence where you're saying, you know what, we have the same core values, we have the same interests, we have the same things. Well, you have a lot to talk about. You know, there's always ways. I'm going to be, this happened yesterday. It was a lead referral from, I want to say like 5-6 months ago, right? And they ended up buying an Airbnb in, I don't know, Tennessee, Arizona. I'm not there, put it that way. Okay, so not with me. And so they said, no, we're going to actually move forward with a house in Arizona, but thank you so much for your time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no problem. So I had not stayed in touch when I should have. Shame on me, right? But I had not stayed in touch. And I usually would call, you know, hey, did it work out? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we had this other property. And I just didn't. Well, yesterday, I had a property that was just absolutely perfect for Airbnb. It was within their budget and everything. I picked up the phone. You think I had call reluctancy? Yeah, I hadn't spoken to them for 5 months. Drop off the face of the earth and then call them with a client, or call them with a house. Okay, I'm ready, right? So I had call reluctancy, even though I do this all the time. I pick up the phone and they don't answer. So then what happens? Your heart drops. But what if? Okay. So resort to number 2. I pick up the phone. Hey, April, hey, Louise, it's Nicole. I'm super excited. I have an amazing home for you. Da, 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 da. I cannot wait to show you. Give me a call when you get a chance. So told them in a video, basically what I wanted to tell them. I sent the video and I get a call back. Hey, Nicole, my hands were just full. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to answer, but what's going on? Yeah, tell us. And so I said, well, how is the house in Arizona, right? Like, how is it going with your Airbnb there? Blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, it fell apart. Oh, it did. And so I'm sitting there like, oh, really? She's like, it's just such a coincidence that you called me today. I mean, my husband and I were just talking about more. Right? And so at the end of the day, they're going to write a contract on this property today, right? And so at the end of the day, I was reluctant to call someone because I had not spoke to them. I was reluctant because they didn't answer the phone. I was reluctant because I didn't know what was going through their mind. But at the end of the day, she was so happy that I called. And that's every single phone call that you make is going to be like that. They're going to be like, oh, wow, I'm so glad you called. But you have to just allow them to be happy that you called. And if you never call them, then they can't be happy that you called. So remember, you're not selling anything, you're connecting. That's the part of the reluctancy that should just go out of the window, because you're not selling, you're connecting. So here,
there you go.
I want to talk about the next steps for today, because we are almost at the end of our time. Next steps, of course, if you have not joined our Facebook community, please go do that now. We have tons and tons of stuff that we're putting in there. We're going live on Thursday from here on Zoom, live in the Facebook group, to be able to really help anyone who's having call reluctancy, or anyone who's having trouble categorizing people, or people setting up an event. That we will help you on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Now, the second, third, fourth Wednesday events, you should be putting those on your calendar right now. So the second, the third, and the fourth, that would be your events, your calls, your cards, all of that stuff. Put those on the calendar. Number 3 is going to be your monthly touch card. That is going to be in our Facebook group. That was the one I was talking about, where she writes it through banner season. That will be an example be put into the Facebook group. So that way you can grab it from there as well. Now, if y'all have not given names, email addresses, phone numbers, obviously we have your name, Nicole. I meant phone number and email address. Go ahead and do so in the chat now. That way we can go ahead and make sure to get everything else emailed to you for the replays and such. Now, as far as the giveaways, my favorite part. So here we have tons and tons of giveaways we are going to be giving away at the end of the challenge, which we have 1.5 more weeks of this challenge, so the end of November. And yes, I know that Thanksgiving is Thursday, and yes, we're still going to go live for 15 minutes. So if you guys can hop in. If not, we totally understand it is Thanksgiving. So you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. But from today to Thanksgiving, like I said, is the most perfect opportunity to make those calls and just connect. So I'm going to go ahead and put down here, if y'all can start putting in the chat here, or you can chat it directly to me. That's perfectly fine. If you don't want to put it publicly in the chat, then you can go ahead and put in how many of the 100% completed database entries you've done, and then how many prospective clients you've gotten. We had one from last week. He didn't have anything under contract for the month of January, to close the month of January. He made calls and he got 3 deals. That's all. 3 deals.
What?
So prospective clients, and then how many
Fortune
referrals
is in the follow-up.
Absolutely. So y'all can go ahead and start messaging me in the chat now, and that way I can record it. Let me show you where we're going to record this at.
Our handy dandy scorecard.
Well, if I could find my handy dandy scorecard. You know, y'all all know that I am the least technology savvy person that there is.
But she makes pretty presentations.
Oh, yes, it's called Canva, guys. Okay, so here we go. So we have tons of people on this board. If your name is not on this board, please let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out.
We don't see it. All we see is the Canva.
Oh. Well, that's not cool. There we go. Okay, handy scorecard. So if your name is not on here, please let me add it now. Okay, so here we are going to have all of these names. Judy's here, Latasha's here, Comma's here. So
I don't see Eric.
Okay.
Eric Stevens. Let's put our boy on.
Perfect. Who else?
Is our girl Rosa?
Patrick. Patrick's name is not there. Okay.
Oh yes, Patrick.
Normani.
Yep.
Okay, is Normani on here? Yes, she is. Who else?
Rashada.
Thanks, lady.
You're, of course, girl. And
Rashada, I'm not even trying to spell your name correctly, so we are copying and pasting.
You did spell it right. Yes, thank you.
Okay, who else?
Did we have
Sylvia? Is this you, Sylvia Lynn? Okay, we have you up here. I wonder if there's another Sylvia. I think there's another Sylvia.
Oh, Sylvia Lynn. That's her.
Okay, yep. So I've got Sylvia Lynn up here. Right here. Rosa. I don't have Rosa on here.
Rosa, where are you from, doll? Comma, because you're so important, we needed to put you twice.
You guys are funny.
He's like, I'm only one person.
Okay, well, we can delete you. from right
Just
here.
just one duplicate. All right.
There we go, guys. Okay, so here we go. I've got it now. Okay, so now we're gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna put it in the Facebook group so you guys can go ahead and fill it in the Facebook group. Okay, that is that. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We've got resources for everyone who needs these resources. Please go ahead and utilize them. This right here is going to be the Reach app we were talking about and the banner season. Guys, there's a lot of options out there. You don't have to necessarily use Reach or banner season. Reach is the most economical that I have found. And banner season's just the preference that Cynthia and I use. But you can use other ones, I think, like send out cards and something else. So challenge schedule again goes to the end of the month, Tuesdays from 10 to 11 Central, which we are going to hop off, and Thursdays from 10 to 10:15 in the Facebook group. Here are the links. Now, are we ready to crush it this week and build a database? Type yes in the chat if you're ready, because I am ready. I've been adding people every single day to my database. I don't even know how many. I gotta count.
Yes.
Awesome. This is amazing. Amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then guys, y'all can connect with us and Cynthia and Nicole. We are happy to connect with you outside of these hours. If y'all need anything else, feel free to contact us in the Facebook group.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you all.